that by an entertainer or an actor or a studio producer. That's not the case. This is all a product of very specific educational decision-making.
Okay, yesterday we started talking about, well, a blow, I guess a severe blow we could call it, that has been dealt the education policies of Premier Jonathan Moon's government, and particularly of Education Minister Eddie Peddle. And that, of course, is the heinous child murders, which have been popularly called the Uncle murders. Professor O'Neill?
I think one of the things we should be very careful about is not to implicate, inadvertently or otherwise, the person who plays the role of Uncle Hennypenny. He's a very respected educator and a well-trained educator, Mr. Cyril Kovidoc, and I think we should be careful not to implicate him.
What is it about Uncle Hennypenny that has created this educational phenomenon?
Brought to justice. It's bad enough that that little children are being killed, but when these murders are associated with the name of Uncle Hennypenny, one of Newfoundland's greatest educators, then that is really a heinous turn of events.
Thank you very much, Dr. O'Neill. In with us this morning, the fourth in our series of interviews on the Uncle Hennypenny murders, if you will, with all due respect to innocent parties, maybe.
No matter how I don't want to say juicy story, but you know what I mean. An important or fast-breaking story like a political scandal or the like. Well, I know the boys down at the newsroom, and they'd be more than happy to handle it. So don't forget, the word for the day is call the Daily News.
BOMI, the voice of Eastern Newfoundland. Birthday greetings going out to Charlene Donovan of Bill.
FPB, Faustus Bidgood, a young man who in 1 year has risen from total obscurity to the highest post in the newest republic on the face of the earth. A young man who self-admittedly suffered from various mental disorders at various times, but who today is, of course, in perfect health and perfectly sane. A young man 33 years old today, for today is, of course, his birthday, as well as being the first anniversary of the revolution.
Well, citizens, I will assume that the President has now risen from his bed and is preparing to leave his residence. He will be going directly to the Republic Building, formerly the Confederation Building. From there, he will travel down to Sage Bar, seabed of the Revolution. The tavern has now been turned into a national historic site.
Excuse me, Wick, Naomi, but we've just received word that the President has indeed left his residence and is proceeding to his offices.
Free spirit in it too, right? Right? Sit down, for Jesus' sake, you're supposed to be the big expert around here, right? Right. So tell us what to do.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, all right. I've been waiting all night. All right, give us.
Come on.
Okay, all right. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, what about 9 o'clock in the morning? I say we storm the Confederation Building. Good, sinners?
9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Hey. What about Goody here with the soda?
I think he should be the president of the new republic!
President Bidgood has a prepared statement he'd like to read to you, and after that you can ask him whatever questions you'd like to ask him about the events of today. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first President of the Republic of Newfoundland, Faustus Bidgood.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This morning at 9 o'clock, the 13 people on the stairs here with me and myself entered the Confederation Building and arrested the members of the Newfoundland Provincial Cabinet. A few hours later, we arrested the Premier Jonathan Moon and the Lieutenant Governor E. Albert J. O'Neill. We fully intend to establish ourselves as the government of Newfoundland, subject, of course, to the will of the people of Newfoundland.
The footage you saw just a moment ago was, of course, the famous first press conference held by our vibrant young president just 1 year ago today on June the 21st. Of course, no Newfoundlander is unfamiliar with that famous footage, but for our foreign viewers in Canada and abroad, an historic press moment.
Subject, of course, to the will of the people of Newfoundland. That's quite a statement by a man who a few hours before was a minor functionary in a scandal-filled government. But it was and is a statement characteristic of the truly
One of the prisoners wrote that the
democratic
starvation eventually led to severe schizophrenia in several of his colleagues. That's the week in science on VOMI, where you're kept informed of all the facts all the time, whether you want it or not.
For a very popular man and quite a guy he is.
Wally Ralph at the St. John's Weather Office, and Wally's never wrong. All he has to do is say rain, drizzle,
Considering the problems that he has overcome. I mean, he has proven to us all that mental illness can be beaten.
Our very own premier, sung by Will Flake. It's the Smiling Young Girl, otherwise known as the...
El Presidente! One moment, Mr. President. Step right this way, sir. You want to go on by? What a great day for the Republic, Mr. President. When a commoner such as I can rush up and touch the fleeting hem. Naturally, I realize something as exotic as yourself doesn't deceive to a worm such as I, so I will slither away, for fear my chatterings going unheard must fall upon devil's ears. Goodbye, adieu, Faustus.
Bidgood. Bidgood.
Hey, Mr. Fred! How you doing, Mr. Fred? What are we going to do now?
I got the rope here, look. Hey, Bidgood. Hello, lads. Well? What are we going to do? Well, I guess we just go in a group, make a citizen's arrest.
Okay, let's go. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
But of course, you know, Wick, that phrase, subject to the will of the people, really becomes meaningless when one considers the oracular writings of the Reverend Dempster Peebles, our president's grandfather. And of course, when one considers that, it's only a theory, but I personally believe that he is the man of the writings.
Yes, Naomi, there's undoubtedly a significant portion of the audience that would agree with you on that, but the phrase brings to my mind, and to most minds, I think, the fact that Faustus Bidgood is actually the first leader who, in an indirect but very real way, was put into power by the will of the people, although I'm sure there was a certain amount of luck involved in it.
God's sake, Margaret Mary, make up your mind.
Okay. Break it open.
More Molly, Pop. 5 times.
I just want to see them all one more time, from top to bottom. Okay, break it open.
Schedule the rehearsals they need.
Henry. Yeah, thanks. Nice, Frank. Really nice. What do you think?
The cafeteria will
Oh, Frank, what is it? It's a clown, though.
Show us costume for
Yeah,
the clown,
that's
remember?
great, Frank.
It's a clown costume.
Stay busy here.
Go on.
Will you go on, Frank, and let me finish
Please,
it?
please, just for a second. Just please, just for a second.
them up before 3 or after.
Hey, everybody. What do you think? For the dance number. Frank, this is a classy number, right? You know, tuxedo, top hat, spit and polish on the boots.
someone else had thought of it, it would have been a great idea, but if I think of it, it's no friggin' good.
Glory be to God, look who just waltzed in at 10 after 9.
It'll be the end of the world.
Morning, Mr. Bidgood.
It kills me, boy. You bust your ass getting into work on time, right? Some people just waltz in whenever they feel like it.
Yeah. And it's the taxpayers' money, too, you know, that's what gets me.
Just because you come in on time every day for 10 years doesn't mean you can go walking all over everybody's face.
Of course, I suppose, you know, if you're out hobnobbing with the jet set all night, something's bound to suffer. Wouldn't be so bad, but in a government job, you know?
Yeah, it's like sticking a knife in the back of the people of Newfoundland.
Yeah, treason.
Treason, that's right.
Yeah, treason.
Treason.
Mm-hmm. Don't they usually hang people for treason?
Mrs. Benson, I understand you help crippled children.
Yes, Frank, we do have to.
Well, come on over to my place. I got 3 over there you can help cripple.
Frank! Ornate.
What's foolish Frankie up to now?
You're late.
I'm lucky I'm here at all, my dear. I just flew into town 5 minutes ago. I was in Gander for the weekend.
What were you doing in Gander?
What wasn't I doing in Gander, my dear, is more to the point. I just flew in this morning. I had a ball, girl. I had more fun in Gander this weekend than I had the whole 2 weeks down in St. Pete's Beach
You
last
got a better
year.
tan, too.
That's a moon tan, my dear. Got that up on the roof of the Albatross Hotel 3 o'clock in the morning.
Came a woman over the weekend, did you?
Excuse me, Mrs. Benson.
Okay, everyone, see you at lunchtime.
Oh, I had a ball, Miss Benson. I really did. Except for the palm trees. Gander got it all over St. Pete's Beach. Frank, you should have seen the stripper out at the Flyers Club once. She would have loved it.
Oh, Eddie, oh.
Is everything ready?
Oh, Eddie.
Sure, the premier's gone.
Bad mistake. I think a very bad mistake there because you see what happened was.
Here are they?
My dear.
You dirty big liar. I danced in me stocking feet.
I'm supposed to have the gun.
You got Billy's boots. I wants Billy's boots. I needs Billy's boots.
Who are you?
The Premier, Jonathan Moon.
I think it's embarrassing to see the premier and all the cabinet up on stage acting like a bunch of youngsters.
Stop it and get back to work.
Gee, what's wrong with you?
Morning sickness.
And now, with continuing coverage, the Minister of Culture, Recreation and Youth, the Honourable Claude Squires.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as you're undoubtedly aware, our Premier has run away again. And as you can see, too, we have reactivated the Find the Poet Premier Crisis Center. And we will leave no stone unturned to find our Premier. I want to reassure the people of Newfoundland and Labrador that the wheels of government continue to hum in spite of the crisis. Now, we'd like your help in finding the Premier. If you think you know where he is, simply call 726-4811 or 722-7400 outside St. John's. Or if you'd like to write to us, you can. Post Office Box 2111, St. John's. Now, we have 4 clues so far, and they go like this. I am dead as a doornail, though very high strung. I can make loud noises, though I have no lung. I'm fun at a party, though I do not drink. I have no brain, and yet I think. And that's spelled T-I-N-K, tink. Now, the mail has started to come in already. We have some phone calls coming in. But before we get to that, let's hear once again the pre-recorded message of our poet premier.
Hello, Newfoundland and Labrador. This is Jonathan Moon, your premier, speaking to you from my lovely home on Rennie's Mill Road. Probably, by this time, you're saying, well, he's gone again. And it's quite true, he's gone again. You know, Shakespeare once said, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And it's quite true, Newfoundland and Labrador. The burden of leadership is a weighty one indeed. But when this burden is coupled with the longings of a poet, the resultant force is tantamount to imprisonment. So, he's gone again. Your premier has scaled the walls and absented himself for a brief sojourn into the land of poetry, a sweet exile from the reins of power. But let me assure you, Newfoundland and Labrador, I have left our lands in cable lands. Neither famine nor pestilence will have their sway while Jonathan Moon has flown away. Is he in the shed or under the bed? I left you a clue, and I'll tell you true. I won't wax tedious, I won't be a bore, but at present I'm hiding in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Newfoundland mommy's bananas. Why aren't chickadees always good? Why don't they do what they know they should? Sometimes chickadees pull some dillies, sometimes chickadees are just plain sillies. Like, for instance, Silly Pat, he bit a rat. Silly Claire didn't comb her hair. Silly Mose, he picked his nose. Silly Keith didn't brush his teeth. Silly Jude didn't chew his food. Silly Tom didn't kiss his mom. Silly Kate didn't clean her plate. Silly Ned didn't make his bed. Silly me, I done my pee. And silly you done your poo. Come chickadees!
Roll it.
The Uncle Hennypenny Show is brought to you by the television service of the Department of Education, Government of Newfoundland and Labrador. The Honorable Eddie Peddle, Minister.
Okay, Sarah, cut.
Check that tape, will you?
God! I can't take this! I quit! I quit! I quit! I quit! I can't take this anymore! I quit! I quit! I quit! I've had enough! I can't stand it! Let me help! I quit! I quit! I quit! Let me go! I've had enough! I can't take it!
Chickadees are just plain sillies. Like, for instance,
I guess, though, there is a positive note to be had from all this. That is, it gives publicity and credence to the fact of the Newfoundlander as poet.
Yes, well, Claude.
Mr. Bidgood, Mr. President?
Phyllis.
Forgive the interruption, Mr. Bidgood. I can see you're very busy.
Your speech, sir.
Thank you.
But it seems Mr. Fred Bonia Coombs would like me to telephone a taxi for you.
Your taxi's waiting.
It seems he has a very important message that he'd like you to run.
Phyllis.
Do you think your little pea-sized brain can handle that?
Please.
Hey, Dreamboat, are you listening to me?
Please don't call me Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. President.
Are you listening to me?
No. Faustus.
Faustus?
Yes, sir.
Well, goodbye, Phyllis.
Bye, Mr. President.
Thank you very much for everything.
Phyllis. No, Phyllis.
Are you listening to me?
Phyllis,
Faustus,
please.
are you listening to me?
No, Phyllis. No, Phyllis, no.
No, Phyllis, no. No, Phyllis. Phyllis.
Please. No, Phyllis.
Well, wake up then. Where the hell are you all the time? I mean, when you're not in there kissing Fred's ass.
Position, please. Okay, I'm just going to reload now.
Hetty, was my hair all right?
Oh, it was perfect, hon. The whole thing looked really nice.
Excuse me, Mr.
Really.
President, what was that you just said?
I said, is my hair all right?
Is my hair all right, or was my hair all
I
right?
think it was my hair all
No,
right?
no. Is my hair all right? Is my hair all right? Hetty, is my hair all right?
Hetty, is my hair all right?
Definitely. Hetty, is my
Hetty.
hair all right?
Hetty is my
Yeah,
hair.
Hetty is my hair all right, right? Have you got that, Phyllis?
Yes.
That's what he said.
My hair.
Everything's
Yes.
okay, dear?
Everything was
Oh,
perfect.
oh,
Really.
Perfect.
Fabulous.
No, my dear, he's not like that at all. I love him. I really do. I really love him. Yeah. No. Well, I only get 2 weeks vacation this year. No, it's the best job I ever had. Yeah, it certainly beats working at Canadian child photographers.
My life's work. I know, sir. I feel a bit sad, Faustus. I think that's quite understandable, Mr. Bonyacombs.
I feel a bit sad that he will be the first to know of it.
Who, sir?
Eddie Peddle. It's a bit sad, Faustus. Eddie Peddle and the scum of the provincial cabinet will be the first to know of the grid, total education. That is a bit sad. What is the grid?
The grid is all.
What is grid truth?
Grid truth is the all-encompassing truth.
Where does grid truth live and have its being?
From the moment of its birth, grid truth was wrapped in the swaddling clothes of total education. And in total education, it has its being.
Faustus, how long have you worked with me on total education and the grid?
3 years.
3 years. For 3 years, you've researched, you've typed.
I've worked evenings and weekends.
You've labored.
I've sweated.
You've labored all these years because of my vision.
Yes, sir. We've been working to develop a new curriculum program.
No, Faustus. No. You've labored because of my vision.
Your vision?
My vision, Faustus. And now I think the time's come for me to tell you of my vision. The time's come for me to reward you for all your years of dedication and labor. A number of years ago, I was walking along Gower Street, and I saw an old dear friend of mine. He didn't see me, so I called out to him. He stopped, looked at me, and then was killed instantly by a bag of frozen soup. I rushed to his side, but of course I was too late. I looked up to see where the bag had come from. I saw an open window and I heard the shouts of a couple engaged in a domestic squabble.
I got up. I went fishing. I went for a couple of beer, okay?
And then I looked further up. And then I saw it. millions of crisscrossed lines forming squares in the sky. The grid. I saw the grid. The grid had cast a perfect shadow of itself on the ground, like a giant piece of graph paper. And my friend and the bag of frozen chicken soup were framed perfectly by grid square number 437602. And then I looked back up to the sky, but the grid had disappeared. It was at that moment that I realized that the grid is always there. It's always above our heads. Objects are continually falling through the grid. Is there a pattern to these falling objects, Faustus? Isn't there a pattern to all of nature? Of course there is. And there must be a pattern to the grid. We must find the grid pattern, Faustus. We must unlock the mysteries of the grid. We must cheat the grid, and we must always be under the right square at the right time. And in so doing, we'll set ourselves on the road to eternal life. And now you know why you've labored all these years.
Yes, sir. Now I know.
I can see you're deeply moved. You know, Faustus, there is a chance that they will reject total education.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry, Faustus. I've taken care of that eventuality.
You have a plan B, Mr. Bonnycombs?
I always have a plan B, Faustus. And there it is in your hands. I want you to take that to the Colonial Building and have it locked securely in a vault until I call for it. That contains some information on Eddie Peddle. It's going to force his hand. So wish me luck, Faustus.
Good luck, Mr. Bonnycombs.
Is it luck, Faustus?
No, sir. There is no luck. There is only grid reality.
Well, here it is, Mr. Bidgood. The fulfillment of your lifelong ambition, delivering a package of smut for Fred Bonnycombs. What is this, anyway? You worked day and night for that nincompoop. All because some poor fool got brained with a frozen snack pack. Sad but true.
It wasn't a snack pack. It was a bag of frozen soup.
Oh. Well, that's not going to get you very far, my son Faustus. You are cracking. I could see that this morning. You're losing your grip.
I am not cracking. I'm not losing my grip.
Okay. If you say so, that's all I want to hear. Come on. Faustus, come on. Where you go? Where are you off to now? Faustus, can you hear me? Bidgood. Faustus.
I love you, Faustus. I really do. You have to listen very carefully. It's very important.
You dirty big liar. My dentures in me stocking feet.
You got Billy's boots. I want Billy's boots. I need Billy's boots.
Who are you?
Billy.
You're not Billy, you're Foolish Dick.
No, he's Billy. He's Billy. He's Billy. Silly. You're the devil. And I regret to announce I'm going to shoot you. What do we do now?
Well, the premier's supposed to shoot me.
That's what I mean. Who's going to shoot you?
I don't know, boy.
Mr. Peddle, Fred Bonnycombs is due to come in now.
All right, thank you, Miss Blaine. Well, there's our answer. We get Fred to take his place. He'd love to do it. He'd probably think it'll
help get his proposal accepted.
A safe is falling from a window in New York. A woman and her children pass under grid square number 65. She is squashed, killed. A tragedy, to be sure. What awful luck, we would say. But is it luck, gentlemen? For what if she had been walking under grid square number 66? She would have narrowly missed death. What a relief. But is it luck, gentlemen? That is the question. Yes, gentlemen. I have seen the grid. And I have developed a curriculum program designed to unlocking the mysteries of the grid. I call it total education.
There's it. That was simple enough, right? Yeah. Perfectly straightforward little transaction. Now, see, that man's in there thinking he just spoke to a perfectly ordinary human being. I know if I was a bit upset, right? Right? And maybe you did waste 3 years of your life working for a madman. You know, maybe you did. And I know you don't have a lover. And maybe you can't carry on a conversation. You're a closet human being, and maybe you will end up back in the mental hospital.
All over the province, or just all over the province. And all the reactions seem to be about 95% favorable to the resolution. Is this a surprise to you? Mr. President?
Yes,
The first point is we are going to separate from Canada. We are merely a transitional government. We will only be in office for 1 year. At this point, we will resign. A national convention will be brought into being at that time, which will form the basis of a new people's democracy in Newfoundland.
I must say, you're having an all-out regional fantasy this time, aren't you?
We worked out
just basic guidelines, and which tends to flesh out as the year goes on to see what people want. Sure, I'd like my role in this one. Disputes and conciliation and mediation, that sort of thing. And cautious, being intellectual figure. Discussions and disputation should help. Not like that, am I? Whatever should come the president's way, we should be able to handle that.
Have you had any particular jobs besides this one?
I've had several particular jobs and many others of a more general nature. So I feel whatever comes the president's way, we should be able to handle it.
Are we now a part of Canada?
Jack?
Well, we haven't worked out the constitutional details yet, but by about 10:30 tomorrow morning, we should have a new Declaration of Independence drafted.
We've come to a turning point.
I imagine after that...
I think that if you spend much more time in the world of the president, then you're not going to have anything left in this world to hold on to. And when you have nothing to hold on to, they come and they take me away. Right? So what are we going to do? I think we should have sweeping changes. Open up all in good time, of course. First, we'll just go out in the sunshine and have a little informal chat to open things up. We'll take a couple of hours off and go out and catch a breath of fresh.
I can't. I gotta get back for the lunchtime rehearsal.
Now, they're not gonna miss you for that, are they?
No.
So, come on. Let's go, okay?
guarantee you that. Anyway.
Goodbye, chickadees. God damn you.
25 RCMP officers, 25 men from the Royal Newfoundland Regiment, and 50 from the Newfoundland Constabulary. The RCM police, they started a search in the Ridge Road area up there and went south to meet the Royal Newfoundland Regiment, which was coming north. Both constabulary units moved east and west toward one another, and we met at a central point in the park.
I see, Constable, and would you say, in your opinion, the Premier is nowhere to be found whatsoever in Pippi Park?
Yes, I would say that. As a result of a thorough search of the park, the Premier definitely is not anywhere in Pippi Park.
Thank you, Constable. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Premier is nowhere to be found whatsoever in Pippi Park, and with that, I'll hand you over to Mr. Squires at the Crisis Centre.
That was Will Hudson, our correspondent, who advised us that the RCMP have checked Pippi Park, and unfortunately, our poet Premier is not, I repeat, not at Pippi Park. But Mr. Claude Gougeau of Freshwater, don't be disappointed, and do try again.
Feel the winds of change blowing around your arse, or what?
Not exactly.
Ah, Faustus, you're too down in the mouth, boy. It's all in the mind, which I'm sure you're familiar enough with.
What do you mean, all in the mind?
Change, boy. Change. It's all in your attitude. I know you hate me to talk about these things, Faustus, but let's take your basic problem. Look at Hetty and Phyllis. I mean, they're innocent enough creatures in their own way, but you got them all caged up inside you, lad. You want to let it all out a bit. Have a talk with them, a conversation. What's the worst that could happen? You have an argument. What's the worst that could happen? You come back cock and toto? No problem. Go on again. Happens to everyone.
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll rehearse. We'll rehearse one or two little sentences. Hi, Hetty. How are you? Or care for a cup of coffee?
With this knowledge, gentlemen, why should we not live in bliss forever? Total education is eternal life.
Repeat after me. Napoleon Bonaparte was an emperor, not a king.
Napoleon Bonaparte was an emperor, not a king.
If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, God made you to know him, to love him, and to serve him in this world.
I don't appreciate being pushed.
Did I push you?
Dismiss.
Did I
Dismiss.
Did I push you?
Dismiss, you did.
Did I
No,
push
miss,
you?
no, miss, you didn't.
Did I?
No, miss. No, miss, you didn't push me.
Would you like to join us, gentlemen?
The answer is 9! 9! 9! 9!
Next question, Gerard, please.
La bicyclette. L-E-B-I.
Stop! Did you say L-E?
Yes, sir.
Good. Perfect. Gerard, I went to school. I went to university on the mainland for 5 years so that I could come in here and listen to you tell me L-E. What?
Drink it, sir.
See? One no effect on now. Very good. It's really... the Archiepiscopal Corporation built this school, brick by brick. They built that staircase out there that you could come up those stairs and come into this classroom and tell me, Ellie, 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 Ellie!
Did we graduate out of that or what?
Oh my God.
What?
Get back.
I know. Yeah.
I gotta get back
I
right
know.
now. I'm late.
I see. Come on.
I can't believe I'm late twice in the same day. I've never been late in my life for anything.
So what? You're late once, you're late twice. Be the late kind of guy, you know? People wait for someone who's late, right? And they say, you know, where's Faustus? He's never been late. And then you come in the door, they look at you with new eyes, you know? Hattie's gonna look at you and say, hey, what's Faustus doing? What's so important he's got to do, man, you know? She's gonna want to go out with you, man. I know that. And be late a few more times, ask her out, she's gonna snap.
People fall in love with people who are late.
Oh, yeah, you're the mystery guy. What's he doing all the time, right? Faustus, what a life he leads, you know?
What do you mean you don't care? I mean, you don't care about the baby? You don't care about me? About us?
I don't care about anything.
Well, I care, Phyllis. We can make it work, you know? I mean, we could get an apartment, settle down, give the baby a chance.
It's not your baby.
It's not as simple as that, Phyllis. I mean, it's my baby as much as it is yours.
It's not your baby. Henry, I was pregnant 2 months before I even met you.
I'm glad for his sake.
Oh.
Uncle Hennypenny.
Uncle Hennypenny? Ina, I'm gonna have to nail your foot to this desk.
He finally resigned. My God, the poor man.
Eddie, just feel that lump right there, look. Just right there on my back.
I can't feel anything there, Frank.
There's definitely something there.
Sure, everybody got something there, boy. Just feel them.
Yeah, but it's not the same as this.
Go away, Frank, boy, you're paranoid.
What
Definitely
happened?
not the same.
You got shorter. You weren't standing straight before, were you, Ina?
My God, those poor little girls. And poor Uncle Hennypenny.
Poor Uncle Hennypenny. I think he's the murderer.
Frank, boy.
I think he's murdering the little girls and signing the notes himself to throw them off the
I
track.
think you're suffering from an overactive imagination, Frank.
It's not like something that happens in St. John's, like...
Way, my dear, St. John's is getting just like Toronto. People getting stuck up in gas stations with guns, and people beating people up, and husbands murdering their wives, and old women getting raped, and children molested in the streets in broad daylight.
Frank!
It's true.
It's like really weird stuff, Frank, with the poison bubble gum and the notes attached to their little foreheads.
Yeah, it sends chills right down my spine.
Well, how come Eddie Peddle is in trouble about it?
He's not exactly in trouble. It's just that he got the whole Hennypenny thing off the ground.
It's about time he got in trouble anyway.
How do you know, Frank?
He's been getting away with murder too long, boy. The big Newfoundland hero. What's he ever done besides tell a few good jokes? Minister of Education. What does he know about education? All he's ever done is turn a murderer loose on a bunch of kids.
Even the walls have ears, you know. You realize you're standing in the Department of Education.
You don't know that Uncle Hennypenny is the murderer, Frank. And Eddie Peddle's done lots of stuff.
Yeah, what's he done? You tell me. I definitely got cancer. Margaret Mary, just feel that lump right there on my back. Look.
You can really make yourself sick, Frank, for worrying about it, I'll tell you that.
Oh, that is the fisherman's lad. That is the fisherman's lad. That is the fisherman's lad. Oh, that is his lad. That is his lad.
God damn it, Phyllis, who is he?
I'm sorry.
Just tell me who he is, okay?
I'm so sorry.
Phyllis, it's all right, Phyllis. Just tell me who he is, okay? Phyllis? Phyllis?
Eddie Peddle. Sorry. I really am sorry.
They laughed. They laughed at the grid.
Well,
Perhaps they laughed, Mr. Boner Coombs, because they didn't understand.
But they didn't all laugh. Oh, no. Eddie Peddle didn't laugh. And you know, that's why I feel so calm. You see, Faustus, Eddie Peddle knows that I know.
Knows, sir?
May I tell you a story, Faustus? Once upon a time, I went to Toronto. One evening, I went out for a stroll downtown, and I happened to drop into a small cabaret. That's not so strange.
No, sir.
No, but what I saw in that cabaret was a flamenco dancer, a young gentleman by the name of Il Legumbre, and with him, Senorita Benita. I wasn't paying much attention, but all of a sudden I noticed something amiss. Legumbre seemed somewhat confused. I was more than curious, so I invited him to my table for a drink. I asked him where he was from. So, where are you from?
Vancouver. Well, my parents were from Spain, but I was brought up in Vancouver.
We went on drinking, and as Il Legumbre became drunker and drunker, he opened himself up to me more and more. Finally, he made a strange confession.
I'm a Spaniard. I'm a real Spaniard. I'm from Spaniard's Bay.
It was Eddie Peddle, a Newfoundlander, born and bred, masquerading for years as a flamenco dancer from Vancouver.
Spaniard's Bay?
And he was more than simply an expatriate. He hated his homeland.
Newfoundlanders. Goddamn bunch of bastards. I hate them. Stupid, bloody hypocrites. Ignorant. Narrow-minded. They won't leave you alone. I couldn't stay. They wanted me out. Hey, you're not going, are you? That's not the whole story. Hey, you!
Betty, 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 every little girl I see is you. Why can't you leave me alone? Why can't you let me forget it? Betty. Leave me alone, Betty. Leave me alone, Betty.
2 years later, there was an election in Newfoundland. I was working at party headquarters, and I happened to walk through the grassroots room when I said nothing. A few days later, I saw him again, and I noticed that he seemed like quite a popular chap.
So anyway, the Newfoundlander turns around, and there's the Mainlander standing there with the wheelbarrow, the 3 tea bags, and the pin.
He soon graduated from being a popular chap to being a bit of a character.
Looks at the wheelbarrow, the 3 tea bags, and the pin. Looks over at the Mainlander, and gives a little wink to the Newfoundlander.
In a matter of weeks, he was on the verge of becoming an institution.
Walks over and picks up the wheelbarrow.
Before I knew it, he was a candidate in the election.
There's no way I'm leaving Newfoundland. I'm a Newfoundlander, first and foremost. I said to the Mainlander, so you can take your 3 tea bags, your wheelbarrow, and your pin, and you can put them on board Buddy's spaceship. Nice to have you. Yeah, makeup was all right. Oh, it was great. Didn't have any snot in my nose.
There was a one issue in that campaign. How much you loved He knew that I knew. And he knows now that if I tell, he's finished. Come over, Faustus. Come here. Every evening, at 5 o'clock, Eddie Peddle drives to the Government Entertainment Lodge on Ridge Road for a rendezvous with his lover. This evening, driving that van that I've rented for you, I want you to intercept him and confront him with his ugly past. Threaten to reveal everything if he doesn't accept total education. I would, of course, do it myself, but unfortunately, Mr. Peddle has access to some of my dirty laundry. It has to come from a purer source, such as yourself. Besides, this is your chance to really do something for total education, for grid truth. But no matter what happens, Faustus, call me before 5:30. If you don't, I'll assume you've chosen the Dark Ward.
Spin around.
Okay. Give the old mail drum a spin.
And dig down deep.
Dig down deep. I guess we have quite a lot of mail coming in.
Indeed we have. Everybody anxious to find the Premier.
Premier. Oh, a lovely pink letter. And I see by the address it's from Point Leamington. Point Leamington, yes. Very picturesque little fishing village, Point Leamington. My wife's people are from there.
Oh.
She was a White from Point Leamington. And I see this is from Mr. Arthur White from Point Leamington. That's a coincidence, isn't it? Mr. White says, I think the Premier may be found at the railroad station in Windsor. Well, Mr. White, we'll have the RCMP dispatched there right away, and if you are right, then these prizes could go out to you. We'll now spin the wheel and see what you may be entitled to. And the wheel stops on number 5, and I see by prize board that number 5 entitles you to a waffle iron from West Bend. So that's for Mr. Arthur White in Point Leamington. If he is correct, then he could win a waffle iron from West Bend.
Very nice prize. Very nice indeed.
For the good, Faustus. For our friendship. For this.
Come on.
Oh, go up. No,
Get
no,
on.
no, 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 no.
Okay, climb right up here.
Okay.
Okay, is that all right, Mary?
Yeah, looks like I'm bearing the brunt of it, yeah?
This I can also arrange. I have noticed a certain longing in your eyes, have I not? And in the event this does not entice you, I have a plan B. Mr. Bonia Coombs, what's the Dark Ward? Don't ask. Where's Eddie?
Oh, yeah.
Phyllis, you get up on top.
I'm not doing it.
Eddie.
Come on, Phyllis.
I'm not doing it.
Hetty, are you going to answer the phone?
Sorry, Mr. Boney Combs, Eddie. I'll get it right away. Wait a minute. Hello? Hello, Eddie.
Oh, don't leave me, please.
Eddie Peddle for Mr. Boney Coombs. Hello?
Hello, Eddie Peddle here. I'd like to talk to Fred, please.
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Peddle. Mr. Boney Coombs is not taking any calls today at all.
I see.
Yes, I'll tell him you called, Mr. Peddle.
That's all right, honey. It's not urgent.
Okay, all right.
All right, I'll see you at the talent show tonight, will I, Angel?
Okay.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. He's sweet, isn't he?
The closest thing that's possible is that he forgets, and I put that in quotation marks. These kinds of killers conventionally compartmentalize their thinking so that they do it and they know they've done it, but then when they leave, they sort of close the door, metaphorically speaking. So it's not something they're aware of all the time, so they can do a killing and go home and have dinner and play with their own kiddies.
I have left our lands in capable hands. Neither famine nor pestilence will have their sway, while Jonathan Moon has flown away. Is he in the shed or under the bed? I left you a clue, and I'll tell you true. I want wax tejas, I want be a boar, but at present I'm hiding in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, a repeat of the Premier's message before he ran away, pre-recorded.
Outside the Capitol Theater, waiting for President Bidgood. Waiting for the arrival now of the cab that we've been told is on its way. There's a slightly larger crowd gathered here today. Some of the members have arrived before the President did. We have Mew Harris, the Minister of Education, Tess Manning, the Secretary of Foreign Development, the two Toms, Tom O'Leary, Tom Hiscock, Ministers of Highways and Byways. They're the joint ministers. Waiting with some of the other folks that have gathered here today.
Okay, everybody, smile. Lots of teeth. Okay, Frank, this is your big moment.
There's a show going on and you're in it. Your number's coming up any minute.
Department of Education workers will be pleased to know that Helen Cruz has won the Daily News Hottest Tip of the Week prize. With her hot tip regarding the sighting of UFOs over Mount Pearl recently.
The Daily News.
Congratulations,
What?
Helen.
I'll call the Daily News. Come on. When the news breaks, right in the front page, everyone knows about it, then you can talk to the police or whatever. Yes. That's the answer.
I think I hear the taxi now. Here it comes. Here's the motorcade, the constabulary coming by. The constabulary, of course, were one of the first groups to throw the lot in with the new president. You all remember the little altercation the constabulary had with the RCMP, in which the RCMP backed down. And here's Fonz, the president's cab driver. He's the man who drove the president to work the day of the revolution.
Bidgood? Faustus? I have no choice. I've got to go along with Fred. I don't want to go back to the mental hospital.
If you go along with Fred, Faustus, you'll just be in his power for the rest of your life. If you call the Daily News, your future may be a bit uncertain, but you'll have liberated yourself from the past and from Fred and from your fantasies. You'll be a kind of hero to the people of Newfoundland. You may be great.
No, Bug, no. Whenever I think I'm great, that's when I start to go crazy.
Yes, when you start thinking you're great. But this time you won't be thinking you're great, you'll be great. You'll be doing something. You won't be crazy, you'll be sane. You're sane. You don't need this garbage from Fred to prove it.
You're telling me I'm sane?
Yes.
You're a figment of my imagination.
Maybe I'm not a figment of your imagination. Maybe I'm an angel sent to help you in your rise to greatness.
Oh, yes.
You must remember this always. You are the long-awaited and most amazing boy child of the people's line.
Oh, yes.
Faustus Bidgood, the President Faustus Bidgood himself. His wife, his secretary, and the man that some have called the conscience of the president. That's laid back down of his shag-off.
Oh, no. I'm not falling for that.
Faustus.
Not falling for that. Just get out of my way. Go away. Get away from me.
There's a show going on the planet. And the crowd is calling for you, damn it. Damn it!
Jesus, I'm really bad. I know. Exhausted. Really, really bad.
The unlikely faces of a revolution, and among them what is perhaps the most unlikely face of all, the Faustus Bidgood story, a portrait of our president.
You're crazy. As far as I'm concerned, you're not here. You've never been here.
I see you tomorrow, then. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Oh, this is perfect. This sets me right off the hook. I'll just sit right back here, watch the Grand Master
fine
plan
with me. That's
unfold.
great with me.
Clutch! Clutch, Faustus.
We are see Jimmy.
Yeah, what's your name now?
Kate.
Kate, I suppose.
It's standard.
Oh, yes, I can see that. Clutch, gears, the whole works. I got it all in there.
I can't drive a standard. Can you drive a standard?
Me? Oh, me? Talking to me? I'm here again. Am I? I'm here again?
Oh, you're Robert.
Fine, Eddie, how are you?
Good.
At the shoulder.
Will do, boy, will do.
Clutch! Use the clutch, man! Use the clutch! Oh! That's the brake! The other pedal needs to brake! The clutch!
So get out there on the stage and give it. Give it. And if you haven't got it, then get it. Get it!
And I'm telling you, you've got to make the right decision. Because as I said before, everyone's gonna know from the last day to all.
Jesus. It's Eddie Pedal.
And your mama and your daddy, everyone you'll ever know. What decision you make.
Okay, everybody, that was great. Go home to supper. I want you to forget all about it. Don't think about it again until you come in tonight. Okay, great. Ina, Mrs. Benson, can I talk to you there for a minute?
Sure, I heard it. Excellent. Snap!
Faustus? Yes, Mom? Let your father be your warning. You understand? Let your father be your warning. Bye.
Don't go. Don't go.
Still here. Faustus, you're so warm. Look, I don't know how much time I got. I don't expect it's too much longer. But I had to come back and try to help you out of this situation. You see, Faustus, I didn't get a chance to tell you before I died that you're falling into the same trap as your father. You're going moony. Do you remember the great nutmeg?
Oh, I think I'm going. Let Dempster Peebles be your guide, and let your father...
I want to show you a great invention I made. It's for cutting seeds of grapes. You chew up the grapes, you put it on your head like this, and you chew up the grapes, and you spit the seeds like this. Oh, God. Very. Oh, dear God.
I don't want you to go through what your father had to go through. He was a great man, and I loved him for as long as I could. But he went moony. Do you understand? Do you understand what I mean by moony? Of course you wouldn't. You were too young.
But we can look even further back into the past, to the very roots of the personality of our great president, to what is perhaps his most formative moment. As the twig is bent, so grows the tree. This dramatization is based on the president's own personal accounts.
Would you like some ice cream?
Faustus, I may not be around to guide you very much longer. Do you remember the promise?
Yes, Mother. I'll go quietly into the world, and the gifts that I have will be given to the world.
You've been drinking.
What do you think?
What's that?
Oh, that's nothing. It's just that I finally figured out how to shape the wires so that I can catch the grape pits in there, you know.
Bruce, that's beautiful.
Oh, no, it's just a trifle. It's not any kind of an invention I'd be remembered for.
I think she's gone, Dad.
Bruce Bidgood, father of our president, a man of genius, but struck down by an unfortunate sickness of the mental variety after the death of his wife. The same fate may have been suffered by the Reverend Peebles himself.
Where you going now, Phyllis?
Wouldn't you love to know?
No, honey, no. There's no need for that.
You're going off to see him, aren't you?
Let go of my arm.
Come on, admit it. You're going off to see
Let go of
him.
my arm.
You got a good head on your shoulders. And you're gonna get this. Vincent here, she's gonna give you a handout. She's gonna be with you all the way. Everything's gonna be fine. Okay? Break a leg, both.
Mrs. Bidgood, I know you're a very busy woman and you've pulled a lot of strings to get here today and all, but you didn't happen to hear some chance comment about my role in this whole thing. I mean, someone in the corner just dropped something like, oh, if that silly would only do such and such. Or if Bog would just take Faustus and ... they'd both be a lot further along. Just a word. A hint.
No. Haven't heard anything. But if I do, I'll try to let you know. I think I'm going.
No, don't go.
Why?
Well, Claude, that's another dead end, but we're not disappointed either because, of course, we've been this route many times before.
Yes, Claude, we have. I recall about 2 years ago, and I'm sure you do too, that the Premier is missing for about 10 days, I guess. It was just prior to Christmas. I know we were all concerned, and his wife was as well, that he would not get home in time for Christmas dinner. But, needless to say, our predictable or unpredictable Premier did turn up.
I'd like the Premier to miss Christmas dinner.
That's for sure.
We give the Daily News a little buzz?
Yes. But first, I gotta take tickets at the talent show.
Dr. Ryan, please. Hello, Wilbur. Fred here. I want you to be ready to move on the Bidgood case. Yes, the Dark Wood.
The story of Faustus Bidgood properly begins at the turn of the century, with the arrival in St. John's from Scotland via the Boston States of the Reverend Dempster Peebles, now chiefly known as the great-grandfather of our glorious president. But Peebles was a minor hero in his own right and owns his own page in Newfoundland's history books. He was, in fact, the subject of a feature film, Newfoundland's First, this somewhat historically distorted 1929 production. Years in the editing, but never released, only fragments remain. Peebles was on the one hand a deeply serious man, a man with a mission, a fiery preacher in the old style. He was never reluctant to brighten the somber lives of his poverty-stricken parishioners by entertaining them with his powerful humor.
Your boats are being crushed by the ice! Not only have you not caught fish, you haven't seen a fish in 2 years! Well, where's the God of love promised in the New Testament?
We can be certain that it was all in the cause of promoting the essentials of the Christian message.
He's right here. He's standing right next to you, waiting for you to commit a sin. So the hell on earth that you're suffering now can last for eternity. You don't deserve the name of Christians. You don't deserve the name of snakes.
But the lighter side of Peebles' personality was never far from the surface, and his entertaining influence soon spread to the parlors of the town's more well-to-do folk. On Sunday afternoons, the story goes, Peebles charmed the merchant ladies of St. John's with his ethnic dancing, learned in Scotland as a boy. He excited them all, but married only one. A Scotswoman herself, Naria Dick, whose daughter Mary, born in 1925, was destined to marry the father of our glorious president, the creative genius and watchmaker Bruce Bidgood, inventor of the grape nut net.
Good evening, fellow citizens. It's been a long day, but it's been interesting, and we're still here, still analyzing the situation for you as events unfold.
My name isn't Betty, it's Susan.
But look at all the pretty colors.
My mommy told me not to.
I see. But you know me, don't you? Sure. Here. That's it. Good, isn't it? Give it a little chew. Betty's bound to go away. Far away.
I'm Dave Wheeler of VOCM, and my pleasure this evening to welcome you to the Newfoundland Government Employees Annual Benefit Show for Crippled Children. And of course, the proceeds from tonight's show goes to aid crippled children all over Newfoundland and Labrador. And right off the bat, I'd like to thank you all for coming out here tonight and supporting these kids across our province. We have a heck of a show for you tonight. It's the best ever. And that may sound like an exaggeration now, but when you look back on it later in the evening, you'll know what I mean. We'd like to thank the Daily News for providing coverage and publicity.
Daily News?
Can I help you?
Could I have the newsroom, please?
One moment, please.
I think I have a story that you might find very interesting.
Could I have your name, please?
Who am I? Yes, my name is
The phrase called the Daily News
Faustus.
as ingrained in the Newfoundland.
Could I have your name, please?
Honey. President. Faustus.
Honey.
What? All right. You okay? It's almost over.
Wouldn't believe this dream I'm having. It's really strange. It's like I'm sort of fantasizing that the revolution happened.
May I strike, Mr. Peebles?
If I call the Daily News, then I'm going to be forgotten about. The Daily News will get a great story. But I'll end up being just a messenger boy once again.
After the wheel, I was invented by a Peebles.
And lo, it shall come to pass that a great child shall be born upon this island, a savior to his people, and he shall be a Peebles.
We've got to devise a plan to ensure that people recognize me as the great man who was foretold.
What are you saying?
This is my big chance. I've got to handle it very, very carefully.
You getting this, June? Are you writing this down, your book?
Madness? Not historically certain, perhaps not relevant, but as is so often the case, scripted into the film for entertainment purposes. Although, to be fair, perhaps this film fragment is intended to be merely some sort of dream sequence. It's certainly not real, not in the light of history, not in the light of the revolution.
Faustus, the show has already started. Would you get backstage, please?
Mr. President! Mr. President! Mr. President! You couldn't have been expecting this, sir. These people want you to stay. They want you to not resign tonight. Mr. President, will you resign?
Stay back there.
Resign, Mr. President.
No, Rob, there's no question of that here tonight, Rob. Mr. Bidgood's going to resign, as we said in the Constitution. The President and his government will resign after 1 year in office. That's what's happening here tonight.
The President will resign in spite of this last 11th hour effort to get him to stay. Jonathan Shagog, the spokesman for the president. He says that he's going to resign tonight. The president himself did not seem as convinced.
We're gonna go on in 30 seconds.
I'll be okay, I'll be okay.
Go to the bathroom.
I
We have to do number 1 or number 2.
Number 2.
Well, there's no time.
I got to go.
There's no time.
Faustus. Darling. Come here.
Oh, no. I'm not gonna fall for that. I don't need that anymore.
But Faustus, this is real.
Of course. Hetty. Hetty.
Mr. Shagog has said that the president will resign. The president himself, however, did not seem too sure. Rob Crick, outside the Capitol Theater, RBC News.
From all over the island, and they're running about 96% in the paper.
We made up the Constitution. We can always change it.
What do you think of this?
Don't talk drivel. Of course I can change it. Make it up one year, change it the next. And it really is just a piece of paper. We're just politicians.
I have
I'm not interested.
a expectant, almost queasy feeling myself. There is, of course, no way that
Bidgood?
will permit the
So we go to sleep.
past its first year.
We fall asleep.
We could have a crisis of
Okay,
some
we gotta finish the dream.
I very much doubt it will lead.
There you have it, citizens. A confusion has developed. The situation has taken a turn.
A real Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers number, I guess you could call it. And we'd like to have a super warm welcome now and a big hand for the Department of Education Special Curriculum Development Singers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it.
I lost her though I cherished her, to a man from round the bay. She said I'd find another, so I placed my ad today. I want a girl.
He wants a girl.
I want a girl.
He wants a girl.
My demands were quite specific, just the plain old-fashioned kind. I need someone terrific, and I've got someone in mind. I want a girl.
He wants a girl.
I want a girl.
I want a girl.
Hello, Mr. Ronya Coombs.
Hello, Faustus. Dr. Ryan, please. Dr. Ryan, Fred Ronya Coombs here. There's that man I was speaking to of earlier this afternoon. So I know where he is right now. At the Arts and Culture Center backstage. No, that won't be necessary. 2 strong men should be enough. Thank you.
He wants a girl.
settle for a lassie from the passy, or an Catholic maiden.
Or perhaps a colleen whose name was Pauline, who hailed from the Isle of Merashee.
No way, boy.
Any girl.
But a girl named Cheryl from Old Mount Pearl, and I want that girl. And I want that girl.
It's real gone.
Right now.
Would you settle for a gent from Heart's Content, or a queer from Carboneer?
This is the gun that Fred is going to use to shoot Eddie in the play. My God, this must be Fred's plan B. He's going to murder him. Take the gun away. No. Yes. No. I'll leave the gun here. And then, when Fred is just about to shoot Eddie, I'll walk on stage. I'll grab the gun out of his hand, and I'll save Eddie Peddle's life. And I'll tell it all.
Of Billy's Boots, a regular feature.
Yes.
So pleased to know that the role
Oh,
of
yes.
the stranger is being played by Eddie Peddle. As long as I can remember, of this benefit show, and has been performed over. It goes back quite a ways, and gets more and more popular every year. The title role of Billy, which is usually played by our poet Premier Moon, will be played this year by Mr. Boney Coombs, who is the director of special curriculum development. A lot of time spent on it,
Oh, here he is.
and I know you're going to appreciate
boy,
it.
you're going to be late.
No, no, wait, come back.
But the will of the people created the Constitution. Do you understand that? They created the Constitution, then, with an amendment to the Constitution allowing Faustus to stay as
There is no provision in the Constitution for the Constitution to be amended.
We are all forgetting the fact that there's only one man today who can make this decision.
Detail. Yeah. Arts and Culture Center. Yeah. Yeah, 2 strong men, yeah. Cheer! Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Dr. Ryan.
Dr. Wilbur Ryan, please. Dr. Wilbur Ryan.
A big hand for Billy's Boots.
Have a cup of tea.
That's mighty hospitality of you. I'm not used to this kind of treatment. There's Newfoundlanders for you.
Oh, it's nothing, boy. Been dying to talk to you since I seen you dance last night. Boy, you dance like the devil. Bina, Essie, Shelley, come in and make the stranger a cup of tea.
When does he shoot him? You don't know. What?
You're new around here, aren't you?
It's a principle, all right? You're setting a precedent.
Come in. Glory be to God. It's my outlaw brother. He must have escaped from jail.
There's a hard-looking case if ever I saw one. I trained him myself. Where's Billy? I'm on the lam, and I want his magic boots.
Why, Billy's magic boots were stolen.
Yes, and there's the fella got him right there. There's the boots.
Well, stuff cherries up my nose and beat me to death with my own leg. They are, Billy. You were able to dance so good
last night.
You dirty big liar! I dented in me stocking feet.
Got Billy Foot. I want Billy Foot. I don't think you can do anything about that.
Stay on in power now. You create a president. And you just change the revolution, change the philosophy of the whole revolution.
Who are you?
Billy.
You're not Billy. You're Foley Stick.
No! He's Billy! He's Billy!
I don't think anyone noticed that, though.
What?
The show going on and you're in it.
Go on, do it. You've got to do it.
My God, it is Billy.
And you're the devil.
You've got to do it. Don't think about it. I know, but you're just talking theory.
And I regret to announce...
Let's go.
I'm going to have to shoot you. You're in a big dream.
Stage of the National Convention, and the crowd is giving him a tumultuous welcome. How will he choose? They want him to stay, he wants to go. What's happening here? What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a murderer on the stage.
Of course, you idiots in the script.
It's a real gun. Look. It's a real gun!
Any murder backstage! Wait!
Kill that little girl. I'll blast your guts out.
Oh, God. You're the Uncle Hennypenny murderer.
You mean you didn't know? But you said there was a murderer on the stage.
Wasn't talking about you.
Who are you talking about?
Fred Bonia Coombs.
What did he murder?
Nobody.
Well, what did you say murderer for?
He was gonna murder somebody.
Who?
You.
Why?
Because the blackmail didn't work.
What blackmail?
He was gonna blackmail you.
Why?
You rejected total education.
But I accepted total education. What? Fred is the Premier's cousin, boy. What did he have on me? What was he going to use? I know. It was the Russian utility chicken treaty scandal. Bastards.
No.
The Labrador Rivers Agreement?
No.
The reinforced concrete talks? The paper mill in Mount Pearl?
Ladies and gentlemen.
I know. It's that goddamn party at the government lodge. What was it then?
What am I gonna do? Up to you, Faustus. It's entirely up to you.
The Illagumbre flamenco dancing thing.
What? I didn't care about that. Is that all Fred could think of?
You almost ruined the whole thing, Bidgood. It doesn't matter now, because I'm going to kill you myself, Pedal, for what you did to Phyllis.
God, you switched the guns.
Henry! No! No, Henry, please. I know you're doing this for my sake, but I love Eddie. I mean, I like you, Henry, but I love Eddie.
Does anybody have a Valium?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Not for me. It's for Nina.
Into the backstage.
She's hysterical back there.
But you're in no danger. Please remain
She found the little one you know dead. Backstage when she was looking for her lists. What a sin.
Please stay calm.
Do you have a Valium? Do you have a Valium? Excuse me? Does anyone in the audience have a Valium? A Librium? Or anything? Does anyone in the audience have a Valium?
Daily News this afternoon like you told me to, I wouldn't have found out any of this stuff.
What difference does it make? There must be 1,000 grubby scandals around like this. You could spend the rest of your life digging them up.
Eddie! Eddie, I'm having the youngster. Eddie! Look at you, Faustus!
You're nuts! You're nuts! You're nuts!
How could you possibly understand?
What do you mean?
You're in the way.
What?
You're in the way.
You know what I mean? You're in the way! You understand me? You're in the way! It's been you that have kept me back all those years! Now get out of my way! Get out of my way! Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make! Please, hurry! He's waking up! He's awake!
I'm gonna sign.
Good!
I'm definitely gonna sign.
Good!
I'm gonna sign for sure, yeah.
He's awake.
I'm definitely gonna sign, Neil.
He's picking up the pen, he's awake, and he's signing his resignation. Ladies and gentlemen, you're the first to hear it. President Faustus Bidgood has resigned.
Amazing moment. There are shivers running up and down my spine. This man is
Watching history
incredible.
take place before your eyes. The pressure must have been immense, inordinate, crushing. But somehow, some way, he found the courage and the strength.
Why doesn't the crowd realize it?
I think they do, Naomi. I think they do. I'm dead as a doornail, though very eye strong.
Listen to those lungs. Eddie, what are you doing?
Can I see him? Him? Eddie, is it a boy or a girl?
First grid child. It's the dawning of a new age.
A babe is born in a curtain torn.
Well, Faustus, this is the dream. What? This is the dream, Faustus. What do you mean? The dream. This is it. Our dream. This is it.
This clearly solves the nagging mystery of why the Premier, who so loves his annual appearance in the Crippled Children's Show, should have chosen this particular time to disappear. It seems the Premier had cleverly prearranged a piano to be lowered from the flies. The Premier intended to emerge from the piano and take over his traditional role as Billy in Billy's Boots. In his continuing search for new and bizarre hiding places, this is perhaps the Premier's finest effort. It's pretty safe to say, Mr. Squires, it has been an exciting and yet tragic day here at the Arts and Culture Center.
Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been confirmed the Premier has been found. He was found in the hiding of the piano at the Crippled Children's Benefit Show, and the Premier himself expressed the wish that the man underneath the piano, a Mr. Bidgood, should get any prize on our prize wheel, if he survives. If he doesn't survive, of course, we'll pass on those gifts to his estate. So, again, we repeat, the Premier has been found hiding in the piano at the Crippled Children's Benefit Show. And Claude, I guess that about does it.
Yes, Claude, I guess that just about wraps things up.
We found the Premier once again.
Never fail.
No trouble at all. I'm Claude Squires.
And Claude Hickman.
Saying toodaloo. Excuse me, we have a note here just passed to me. It says, the Honorable Eddie Peddle, the Minister of Education, delivered a 6-pound baby backstage during the talent show this evening. A secretary at the Department of Education went into labor on the catwalk, and Mr. Peddle carried out a successful delivery. Mother and baby are doing well.
Well, I guess it's thanks to Dr. Peddle.
He is a doctor too, you know.
Really?
Has a an honorary PhD from Memorial.
Oh, of course. At least the Minister of Education should have at least an honorary degree.
Indeed. Great credentials,
Great
our minister.
credentials, yes, sir.
Again, toodaloo until the Premier runs away again.
Yes, I know what you're going to say, but I tried to create an anti-hero because I felt that another hero or god in a classical mode just wouldn't stand up to the scrutiny of the media and all that stuff that they've got now. Besides, I enjoyed myself, certainly more than I did in the past.
Of course. It's always fun for you.
It's good to be back, I think. Do you think you'll go back again?
Yes, well,
Probably. At least we left them with the grid. Yes, that's something to fall through.